So again, Cowboys started the week with a big 11th consecutive win to send the Vikings to 6-6. And just when the Lions think they might have some extra breathing room in the division, here come the Packers maybe to pull things together. And then the Saints at 5-6, they're in the hunt as well. This is a big game in the Superdome today. Matthew Stafford on the road at 7-4 can go to 8-4. Big difference between 7-5 and 8-4 in many ways, obviously. So he's warming up right now in New Orleans. Now, look, it's very rare in one of these here single shot on camera lead-ins that I talk about one of my fellow Game Day morning panelists. All right, not so rare. But anyway, there was one guy here who showed up on our season preview show and made us scratch our heads over two things. One, did he really say the Lions offense and Matthew Stafford would be better without Calvin Johnson? And two, is he ever going to shave that thing off his face?
That's what I want to know.
Well, the answers are yes and no. Mark Kriegel sat down with Stafford this week to talk about all of it. The bit about Calvin and the Lions being better, not the thing.
Clock moving, down to 20 seconds to go. Needing the end zone for a victory.
You're down a score late in the fourth quarter. You can have anyone you want in the league. Who's your quarterback?
I mean, I'm taking me. I want the ball.
Is a finish, and the Lions are back on top.
You have 7 fourth quarter comebacks this season. Those are quarterback stats. Don't be falsely modest with me now.
You know, I take a lot of pride in those situations. Having the ball at the end of the game in my hand is where I want to be.
Let's get this one now. Let's go.
If I had the choice to be, up by 7 with the lead and watching our defense play, or, down by 7 with the ball in my hands, I'm taking the ball in my hands every time.
My colleague, Nate Burleson, said he's seen you hurt. He's seen you blasted, but he's never seen you scared. Is that accurate?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
I think your demeanor as a quarterback is as big as anything.
I can play, right? I can throw the ball if you need me to throw the ball.
I almost enjoy it more to, take a big hit and make a great throw than to have the perfect pocket and make the great throw.
Why do they believe in you?
Partially probably because I've done it.
Clock! Time! Matthew took it across, and the Lions have taken the lead.
But also, I think you just have to be yourself.
Coach Cooter comes on. He's your offensive coordinator now. He's not much older than you. How did you guys get along?
He has, a lot of appreciation for playing the position of quarterback because he's done it. When he was just my quarterback coach my first year in 2014, there were times where we were butting heads. But ever since he's taken over, and really, that smoothed over so much.
How about that quarterback?
God, that was a perfect check.
You can teach a quarterback a new scheme, yes? Mm-hmm. You can teach a guy to get the ball out faster. Can you teach a guy what Matthew has late in the fourth quarter when you're down?
I think that's very difficult to do. I think some of that's built into the man, built into the person that's doing that. There's not been a time this year where we've broken that huddle on that last drive or whatever the situation was, where we didn't think, okay, we're going to go score here and win the game. He's built that confidence in me and in us as a staff.
Megatron, you did it again. Calvin hauled it in.
He is now officially retired.
Most great quarterbacks have a great receiver. Has losing the best receiver of his generation forced you to become a better quarterback?
I think so. A different quarterback for sure. I think when you have Calvin in the game, you feel like you have to give him the ball. Now we just have a bunch of guys who, when it's one-on-one, they're good options. It's making me just a little bit more disciplined in my progressions.
They're never dead. 11 times this year they've trailed in the fourth quarter. 7 times they've come back to get the victory.
You've been behind late in every single game, and you're in sole possession of first place. Can you explain that?
I think quarterbacks make their money in situational football. I know that's the only way I know how to operate, is wanting the ball, wanting those situations. Would love to be up 21, but kind of love being down 3. And, having the opportunity to go win the game.
And in terms of winning the game, check it out. Their next 2 road games at the Giants, at the Cowboys. That's pretty big stuff. And as you can see, the Packers play both the Vikings and the Lions from here on out. We have 2 in a row in Lambeau Field, starting with today's game against the Texans. So still a little bit up for grabs as we put the NFC North to the Cynthia Freeland game theory.
Yes, Rich, it's
Go
time
for
for Game Theory with Cynthia Freeland and special guest star Kurt Warner here with us today. We're going to talk
With the
about
gloves
that.
on.
Got the gloves on.
You're going to wear those the rest of the show?
I feel good in them.
Yeah, you look great. Okay, so we're going to talk NFC North, right? All right, give us your projections, please.
You know, I know this is going to surprise you, but I still have the Lions winning the division.
Well, they are in first place.
They are in first place. I have them at 10-6 to win the division.
Wow,
This is a close division. No one's a runaway leader like the Dallas Cowboys are over in that other division, right? But what do you think here? What do you think about these Lions? You agree with me?
I'm going to disagree with the Cynthia Freeland numbers. I don't do that very often.
Be a gentleman.
She's been pretty good this year. But I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say, if you look at Detroit's schedule, I mean, big game today. They go at the Saints. They're at the Giants. They're at the Cowboys.
Dallas.
They
I
have
have
to play
Dallas and the Saints as both losses.
They have to play
only
the
need
Packers.
3 more wins to get to 10.
Right. So here's what I'm going to say.
Packers at home.
I'm going to flip this whole thing on you. I'm going to say the Lions and Vikings end up 8-8, and the
Okay.
Packers make a run and win 4 of their last 5.
So Texans, Seahawks, Bears, Vikings, Lions. Which are those? Which 4?
Oh, they're going to play.
Hold on. Here's why I'm telling you this. Is because they're changing some things up, Mooch.
Kurt has
changing
an
some
XO.
formations right here. You get Jordy Nelson on a linebacker. Good situation here. Now look at this. You haven't seen the Packers do this much. Full house backfield. We're going to move Randall Cobb out of the backfield. You get all kinds of confusion with the defense. Easy play for Aaron Rodgers. And now we have success. Things they weren't doing. Now look at this. We've got 27 guys in the backfield, and we're going to toss it, get outside. Now we're having some success running the football, and we'll see another formation right here. We got the full house. We're going to run out of this. But here's what I like is that they're changing things up. So much early in the year was we're going to leave our guys in one spot. We think we're better than everybody else, and they struggled. Now they're starting to change things up. Maybe the best game of the year was against Philly. I think they turned it around.
Offense, right?
Who did you tell me who they got?
They have Texans, Seahawks, Bears, Vikings, Lions.
Okay, I say they maybe lose to the Seahawks, but they're going to get the Texans, the Bears. They'll beat
But the
the Vikings
problem
this
is
time.
you only
and
talked
win the
about their
Lions
offense.
game.
What about their defense?
Hey, Clay Matthews is coming back.
Okay,
all right? And
all right, that'll
James
get better.
Starks is coming back.
But you
healthy.
still, what
Run
about
the
a
ball a little
quarterback?
bit.
You got any corners?
Sounds like
Well,
coaches.
no corners, but
you're agreeing with me.
I'm going to agree with this guy.
right.
You know
I
what,
like
Cynthia?
it.
Fine.
You're from Okemos. That's Detroit Lion
Listen,
country.
the number one rule about being a Lions fan is you know you're going to lose at some
no,
point.
well, this
you
year's a
learn
little
how
different.
to deal with disappointment from a young
But the
age.
great thing is they all play each other a couple more times, so they
Yeah.
got a chance to
Correct.
change
And
this
the
whole
last
thing.
They do.
game is in Detroit.
Right.
And you know what? If the Packers win that and they both go 9-7, the Packers win the division. All right?
I'm
And they
still
beat them
taking the
already
Lions
this
by
year.
the math.
I know you are. Okay, you're Honolulu Blue all the way. I'm going to send it out to Ian Rappaport because he's
Do it.
going to talk about today's actives and inactives.
That came to an end today.
Well, the good news for the Detroit Lions is they're hot. They've won 7 of 8 games, 4 in a row, and today actually won a game by more than a touchdown. First time they've done that all year, Jimmy.
Yeah, you look at the New Orleans, Drew Brees, this was not a typical performance. First time since 2009 that he has not thrown a touchdown pass. Bad snap from center. He had 3 interceptions for the day. Like I said, this was not a typical Drew Brees performance, but the Detroit Lions, that defense is getting better. And the other thing is they're not waiting until the fourth quarter to try to win it. They took charge right from the very start.
Yeah, and we talk about, Matthew Stafford, the shootout against Drew Brees, but the one thing that you pointed out that Detroit didn't do, they didn't turn the ball over, and that's important when you're on the road in that place, not to turn over the ball, don't lose momentum, don't give the Saints anything to feed off of them. Detroit did a great job of that.
No Calvin Johnson. It's been kind of a transformation. I think it's freed up Stafford to spread the football around. Tate's had a great year. Bolden's been a good addition. Jones. Ebron has really stepped his game up. He was at one point considered to be somewhat of a kind of a miss on a pick. Uber talented, really a guy who's stepped his game up. And the offense has been there, as Jimmy mentioned. The difference right now is they've gotten healthy on defense. They're playing better on defense.
And if you ever watched the original version of the Scrooge, when at the very end he grabs Death by the ankles and says, "I do believe, I do." I think all of us out there need to finally say, I do believe in the Detroit. Nobody up here ever picks them. We're scared to death of them.
That's true.
Next week, I'm going to think about it.
You know what? His face up here. Did anybody know what he was talking about? Because I was looking at everybody's face.
When he said it, I was like, what? But then when I get it. He didn't want to die.
Yeah. I tell you what I do. I do believe the NFC North is going to be